Actually, I'm not really sure what I want to do right now. So what are you planning on? So what? You're planning on living the rest of... Wait. Your mum puts down her fork. So what? You're planning on living the way you do the rest of your life. How would you afford a house on that paycheck? What about kids? Oh, we're a man, remember? Sorry, I was like, what? Maternity pay, obviously. Your father interrupts, lightly placing his hand over your mother's. It's okay, Linda, let the kids be what they are. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want to do in your 20s. I didn't get into construction till I was nearly 40. I don't think it's normal for someone at that age to not have a path. You need to think hard about it, or you'll never make anything of yourself. Mum, come on, Malcolm interjects. This emotionally exhausts you. You want to tell her that you're thinking hard and that not knowing what you're doing with yourself bothers you more than it could ever bother her. That sometimes it feels like you're lost in the woods, and if you were to drop dead in your apartment, the world wouldn't notice. You want to make her understand that more often than not you feel like an alien, like there isn't anywhere in the world that feels like a place where you belong, and you have no idea how to fix it or what to do. You wish you could find the words so she would understand that being looked down on these skills for you and drives home the feeling of being a total outsider. Instead, you get very quiet for the rest of the meal while your mind goes numb. Everything inside you feels exhausted. It's a rainy night. You're hurrying through the rain to Alex's apartment at her behest. Though your pace is quick and the rain is steadily soaking up your pant legs as you traverse the town, it's darkening your already poor mood. The call came while you were at home after a day of dealing with abnormally frustrating people. You spent the afternoon trying to unwind and get some work on your project done. Alex called and interrupted one of your try to make progress, get frustrated and not making progress, have a harder time making progress due to frustration repeat loops. And you haven't fully shaken off the feelings of being annoyed with yourself from it yet. You knock on her door, and on the third knock hear a voice call from further in the apartment to come on in. As you cross the threshold, dripping rainwater all the way, you notice that the lights are turned down very low in the apartment. You squint to navigate as you clutch on to your damp umbrella, but end up hitting your shin on the side table, mumbling a profanity under your breath. Fuck. You barely make out Alex emerging from the hallway, clad in what looks to be a robe with the bare skin of her legs peering out underneath. Why don't you come in and warm up? She asked in her designated, slightly cheesy, sexy voice. After a beat of silence, she states more naturally, my roommates are out of town this weekend, so I thought it might be nice to have a little fun while they're away. You appreciate her affection, but you're too wrapped up in your own negative feedback loops to be in the mood right now. What do? Try to unwind. You don't have to have sex, you can just, enjoy each other's company. Have a massage. You look at her standing, barely lit, and notice there's a few candles scattered around the apartment. It occurs to you that she's tried to make this night special for the two of you, even though you have a tight knot of antisocial frustration in your stomach. Seeing how much she cares makes you want to try to melt it away. As you can show her how much you care that she's gone through all this trouble, however you desperately need to shift gears first before that's even possible. You look amazing. Let's have a drink together, you suggest, hoping that this will give you the push you need to get in the mood. You get into the kitchen and pour the two of your drinks, trying to focus on letting go of the bad mood. You sit down on the couch next to her and she cuddles up opportunity. What should we toast to? To us. To tonight. The two of you cheers and you ask her about her day. Conversation turns flirtatious and the two of you find yourselves in the bedroom shortly after. You find that you're having trouble getting into things physically with her and remember that diminished arousal was a possible side effect of your medication. I can't get hard. You'd hoped that you were part of the population that wouldn't be affected by it, but it seems that this is not the case. However, you're still able to enjoy the closeness with Alex and fall asleep together happily. See? Good. Winter. Not particularly late. Time of year has lit the sky and almost prematurely darkened cast. Day after day, just like today, you trudge home from a job you have increasingly come to hate. On this day, your job misery seems to have reached critical mass, and not even shedding your rain-laden and uncomfortable work clothes helps you to unwind from your workday. You collapse into your couch, blank and numb. While your job always seemed to just be an unpleasant reality of existence, it was a position you sort of fell into unexpectedly, never intending to work there long term, and it's getting harder and harder to keep it up. But it's certainly not your dream job. You've always just sort of stuck it out of necessity, but it's becoming difficult to do that. Though you can't even begin to imagine what else you could do, you find yourself face to face with a question you can't ignore. Is your complacency worth the price of this level of misery? What do you do? Well, let's look for another job. You put up your computer and navigate to Craigslist. American thing. You sift through a myriad of legitimate postings, clear pyramid scams, and the occasional miscategorised random personal ad. You look through the section that is in line with your current job and start feeling a bit of despair. Would things really be any different if you were simply doing the same thing somewhere else? What's up with that camera? You email your resume to a few of the postings after coming up with a cover letter that you could use for a variety of things. After you've exhausted the postings for the last few days, you head back to the main page. There's a section that's more in line with the project you've been doing, though it's a highly competitive creative field that you don't feel remotely qualified for. Despite that, you click on the section blah 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 and nervously send off an email. You're convinced you'll never hear back from any of these places, but the act of trying to change your situation instead of stewing on it actually feels quite freeing. You find yourself trying to stifle the hope that you end up getting the creative job, but it still manages to bubble away. It's a little past 8 PM on a Tuesday night. You're at your computer, frustration levels peaked, rubbing your eyes and sighing heavily. You're working on a project from your job that has you stretched to wit's end, trying to meet a looming deadline. As it gets closer and closer, you are seriously doubting your ability to get it done. You're dragging your feet a little at work due to your complete lack of energy lately. In spite of wanting to do a good job, you find yourself unable to push past it and feel horribly useless for it. You slide your hands off your face to look at your screen as it beeps at you. Hey, are you there? I really need to talk to someone about something. You feel like you're getting nowhere with your current task and could probably use a break, however you know that you have a history of getting distracted and then losing motivation. No, but he was there for us, so we should be there for him. What's up? Oh good, you're there. I just found out I got cheated on. I don't know what to do. Oh, that's horrible. Talk for a long time, lend a shoulder to your friend, rant, cry, most importantly to be able to voice his inner turmoil. You're giving your full attention and talking through what his options are for what he does next. You keep him from doing something rash and the two of you decide it's best for him to sleep on it before doing anything. Exhausted, he departs for bed and thanks you for being there to talk to you. You feel horribly sorry for him, but happy you're able to help. It serves as a tangible reminder to you that you're capable of being useful to someone instead of solely being a mess that needs everyone else's help. You boot up your work project and find you're suddenly able to get some solid progress done on that note. See, that's good. Sunny Saturday afternoon. Deep thought, negative loop. Oh, we're not in the same negative loops. You realise that, although you still have your bad days, your lows aren't quite as bad. Your antidepressants bottle rolls across your dashboard as you take a left turn. You've been on this medication for quite a while now after periods of trying a few different things. Minor side effects, they've overall become an unknown part of your life. You feel as if your life has generally changed for the better recently, and you begin to wonder if you need them anymore. You don't feel as much despair or hopelessness, and you hate yourself a lot less. Maybe it's time to stop taking these. I seem to not really need them anymore. No. You should consult your doctor. Let's continue taking. You have the realisation that you can't be sure if it's a general life change that's making you feel better or if it's a sign that medication is working. You decide against discontinuing your meds. It's not really a lesson you'd like to learn the hard way, and the side effects of this particular kind are negligible. The next time you see Dr. Melville, you tell her about this. She informs you that it's a common train of thought that people who have begun using medication to help them manage their depression experience, that you've managed to dodge a bullet because it generally ends poorly. She asks you to talk to her first before making any decisions about your medication in the future. See? I know. Oh, so much to read. Another sleepless Thursday. I'm just going to summarise. We're at Alex's apartment, wide awake in bed. She's sleeping. Fell asleep ages ago. We're feeling insecure about the relationship. It was a tense night. A stressful day at work. Made dinner. Barely said a word. Stuck in your own head. Hard time being present. Blah blah. She could tell you're in one of your moods. You haven't explained depression to her or how you started seeing a therapist. Blah blah blah. She stirs in her sleep and squints as she opens her eyes. With the confusion that comes with waking up, she asks you if you're awake and then if everything's okay. Tell her about your situation. You feel like a jerk for accidentally waking her up, but you're afraid if you put this off any longer, you won't find the strength to tell her. Actually, everything isn't okay. Can I tell you something? Alex sits up, rubbing the sleep out of her eyes. For the rest of the night, you lay side by side, holding hands as you tell her everything. You tell her how it's more than just feeling sad sometimes, how you feel trapped by your own mind sometimes, how sometimes you feel nothing at all, and how you can't shake it off. Shake it off, I shake it off, oh, oh. You tell her how you've started going to therapy, how you feel embarrassed about it, and how it's working out for you. She listens the entire time, occasionally asking questions about how this or that works, or asking you to explain something further. She squeezes your hand and tells you she understands that she's sad you didn't tell her sooner. After laying silent for a moment, bloody camera, too dark. You just really want her to say something to tell you how she's feeling about all of this, but you're too afraid of what the answer would be to ask. You start convincing yourself that she knows everything she's going to leave. There's no way she would stay with you, basically. How can I help? What do you need me to do? I honestly don't know. I wish I knew how to fix this, but I don't know that you can do anything. I think it's something I just have to live with. Then I'll live with it with you. I don't know how you could possibly love me. You don't need to, just know that I do. Friday night, leaving work tonight, a group of co-workers asked if you wanted to go for drinks. You said no. You have a habit of doing this. Blah 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 blah. You feel like a creep. It seems to come so naturally to anyone who isn't you. You find yourself petrified of breaking some unknown social rules that you don't go out. Now you're alone at home. Your brain has become telling you how pathetic and sad you are for just being unable to just be a normal person and go out with nice people. You can't figure out why you can't just go out and meet people and enjoy yourself. Blah 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 blah. Your typical strategy: and boot up Netflix to distract yourself from these feelings, but frustration with yourself builds. Blah blah blah. What do you do? Play with a cat. We're glad we've got a cat. You get her to chase a laser pointer for 30 minutes before she tires herself out. She pads over to you and collapses on the hip in your lap, purring loudly. Though initially she hated being picked up, you carry her to the computer desk with you and she doesn't object. Cool. Cold Saturday afternoon. You've just arrived at Alex's apartment and you're happy to finally see her after a week of absence due to your schedules not lining up due to work and school. You hug her at the doorway and she breaks away sooner than normal and sits down on the couch. There's something I was hoping we could talk about, actually. It's nothing bad, I promise. So I hope this doesn't freak you out, and if you feel like things are going too fast, just tell me. We seem to have a lot of weeks like this, and they really suck. I was just thinking I'd ask, since things are so strong with us, what are your thoughts on maybe moving in together? Do you want to? Well, yeah, I do. I mean, we'd have to sort out logistics and everything, but those are all things we can take care of. So what do you think? Just move in. Well, okay, tell her and discuss them honestly.